Now, here goes. Hey, Black Connecticut, my people. It's double trouble in the building today because this is the first time you'll get to experience the Black Connecticut Dynamic Duo. I'm Lucid.
Now I'm DL3. What's up, Black Connecticut? It's a pleasure to be on here tonight. We're so excited that you guys are tuned in. Thank you. It means a lot to us. How you guys feeling tonight? What's going on? We have a great live for you tonight. But before we get started, we want to know where everybody's coming in from. What part of Connecticut are you guys hailing from? Let us know. Let us know in the chat box. We're going to take some time and allow people to get in, 8 o'clock.
Before we even know where you're coming from, we want to know where you're coming from in terms of.
Let us know. Let us know.
Okay. It looks like we have someone in the building. Her name is what? Money Lisa? Money Lisa says Instagram. Money Lisa discovered us on Instagram. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we got some people coming in through the chat. And we're just going to wait for a few more people to come in. But it looks like we got some people from the Instagram, the Insta in the building.
Hi, Money Lisa. How are you tonight? Thank you for tuning in.
Money Lisa, we gotta ask you something, because since you're one of our first people to come into the chat, we went ahead and made you a mod. Congratulations. But we want to know, what part of Connecticut are you from? Building. Elm City in the building.
No.
Okay.
I know black.
That's right.
Anybody else?
We got some other people in here. Give you guys some time. Again, this is DL3.
And I'm Lucid. And we're Black Connecticut. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Black CT Mag. If you don't have an Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, and you're interested in keeping up with us, you could just head to blackconnecticut.com and subscribe to our mailing list.
We got a great show for you guys tonight, or a great live, I should say. We're going to allow some more people to come in. 8 o'clock. We're almost there. We're talking about the feminine masculine spectrum.
Yeah, we did come in a little early today, so
yeah, I didn't even so we just wanted to make sure, sometimes technology can be a little iffy.
Yeah, but we on it. We early today.
We're on it.
Shout out to being early today.
That's right. You know what they say, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. But we'll take it any way you come.
Absolutely. Now, DL3, I want you to talk to the people. Let them know just about what we have in store today.
Thank you. All right. So today's topic, guys, is the feminine masculine spectrum. I know if you guys are looking at your screen, you see a beautiful woman, you see a handsome man, you see this color-coded tablet, and you're asking yourself, what is going on? Well, that is the feminine masculine spectrum that we're talking about today. And some of you may wonder, well, what does this entail? So before we just dive in and we talk about the feminine masculine spectrum, when you hear this, the feminine masculine spectrum, what does this mean to you? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Money Lisa, what are you thinking when you hear this term, the feminine masculine spectrum? Any other subscribers, what are you guys thinking? Let us know in the chat box. Okay, gay, straight, okay.
Gay and straight would be the gender spectrum. What we're talking about is pretty much the feminine masculine spectrum. And it doesn't pertain to your sexuality at all. It's more about are you perceived as feminine to society? In this case, the black community. Are you perceived as masculine to society? In this case, to the black community. And there are certain attributes that we're going to get into that other people see, and with these observations, they determine how to treat you in the black community. So we want to know your feedback as well, if you've ever experienced this, or if this is just something that isn't as common or isn't as obvious as you may have thought.
Exactly. So thank you for, interacting with us. We do appreciate that. The feminine masculine spectrum, guys, is what we're talking about. We're still allowing more people to come in, but we're going to dive right in. So before we get into what this is, first we need to we need to break down the actual topic. So, we know what feminine is, we know what masculine is, but do we know what a spectrum is? So a spectrum, guys, is a position or a scale between two extreme or opposite points. So in this case, we have feminine on one side and masculine on the other side. And there's certain things that are considered feminine and there's certain things that are considered masculine. I mean, we see it in everyday life. We see certain things that we're like, that's girly or that's manly. Like, we see this stuff happening. So we're going to break down what some of those attributes are. That's right. Again, we're going to, what time is it? What time is it, Lucy? It's 8:03. We're going to give one more minute for some people to come in.
8:03 Eastern time right now. Again, we showed up a little early because we like to be early. Shout out to everyone in the building who likes to be early. However, I know that we advertise this for 8 o'clock, and we're still in the process of passing out the link to some people who haven't received the link. We just want to give y'all some time to hop on and
definitely hop in.
Hop in.
Hop in. Let us know where you're coming from. We got Money Lisa from New Haven.
Money Lisa from New Haven, Elm City, the Pistol 203.
Exactly.
Hoping to get a little more people from different parts of Connecticut, because this platform is for y'all. This platform is for Black Connecticut. Black people who live in Connecticut. Whether you live in a area that doesn't have a large black population or you live in an area that does. We want to hear from you. We want to know how you feel about Connecticut. We want to know how you feel about us. And we definitely want your input in terms of topics that we'll be discussing, because this is the place where your input matters. You want to know why? Because we live here. That's why.
We live here. That's right. We live here.
We live here.
And we've been here too.
And we've been living here. Good point. We've been living here.
We've been here for a while. So we're definitely here. Definitely in attendance. All right. It's 8:05. So again, guys, feel free. Don't hesitate to write in the chat box. Don't think because, we're talking. Money Lisa said, I've been here for a while. You know what? That's right, Money Lisa. We've been here for a while too.
Exactly. And we're not going nowhere.
Not going nowhere. The prices are rising. We ain't going nowhere.
Exactly. The prices are rising. COVID rates are rising. Rent is rising. Gentrification is rising. But we're not going nowhere. So take that.
A lot of things going to rise. So we're going to, I think it's a good time to start. It's 8:05. Again, as you guys are coming in, let us know where you're coming from in Connecticut. All right. We got Patrice Wiggins. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Patrice, where you tuning in from? I like that shade. Yeah, come on now.
All right.
Like a little melanin chocolate thumbs up.
Come through with the melanin.
Where you coming from? Let us know where you coming from. Let us know where you follow us. Like, do you follow us on Facebook, Instagram? We'd love to know. So we're going to jump in. Money Lisa, Patrice, again, thank you guys for tuning in. We're talking about the feminine masculine spectrum, the spectrum between the feminine side and the masculine side. We're Remember, guys, a spectrum is a scale between two extreme or, opposite points. So you have the feminine side, which is, boom, this is what people think of as feminine, and the masculine side, and this is what people think of as masculine.
All right.
So we're going to...
Patrice Wiggins says she's checking in from Bridgeport.
Okay. That's right. Bridgeport. Park City. Bridgeport.
Bridgeport in the building.
Can I get some? That's right. That's right.
Shout out to Patrice from Bridgeport. We appreciate you.
We got Bridgeport, New Haven. That's a dynamic. Y'all already know what that is. Bridgeport, New Haven.
The dynamic duo.
Exactly. That speaks for itself right there. Those the two of the head hunting cities, the bigger cities in Connecticut. People know about Bridgeport and New Haven. All right, guys. So we're talking about the feminine. That's right, Money Lisa. I love you. I love you. She's the DJ Khaled of the night.
That's right. That's right.
She's the DJ Khaled. That's right. Exactly. That's right. We gotta big up New Haven, big up Bridgeport, just big up Connecticut,
Fairfield County, New Haven County, and Hartford. We hoping Hartford comes in the building and comes to hang out with us today. And definitely other places, Windham County, Tallinn County. If there's some black people in that area, we see you. We waiting for you. Just come through.
Come through. So we're going to jump right into this topic of discussion, guys. Again, feminine, masculine spectrum. And we're talking about what are traits that are associated with being feminine and what are traits that are associated with being masculine. So you guys think about that for a second. Let us know in the chat box what you think are feminine traits and what are masculine traits. And then we're going to dive right into, some traits that we already profiled as being feminine and masculine. So we're going to jump right into those feminine traits.
Okay, we got Cincinnati, Ohio in the building.
Okay. We got Kay Anthony's boy from Cincinnati, Ohio. That is far. That is far from Connecticut. Are you from Connecticut, Kay? Kay Anthony's, are you from Connecticut? Let us know. Oh, she follow us on Instagram.
Okay. Now, Patrice Wiggins came through and said, Bridgeport. I follow on Instagram. Love the page. We appreciate the love. And stay tuned.
Thank you. She said, love the page. Instagram. Instagram is big. Yeah. Instagram the new thing now? Like, is it Instagram? Because I thought it was Facebook. But I love how y'all all on Instagram because I'm slowly trying to move away from Facebook. But
aren't we all?
I love it. What did you say?
I said, aren't we all?
That's right. I hear it. Facebook could get y'all in trouble. I think we all know that.
Yeah. The feds on Facebook.
So we're jumping right in, guys. Kay, Antonise, Patrice, Money Lisa. Thank you guys for being in. You guys are here. Bridgeport, Ohio, and New Haven checking in. Thank you for that. We appreciate the support. That's right. Again, thank you. So, guys, we're jumping right into this topic of discussion. More people feel free to come in. Let us know where you're coming from. Let us know where you follow us at. Follow us on, on YouTube, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, guys, we're into the feminine, masculine spectrum. Right now, we're going to be talking about traits that are feminine. I asked you guys, what are some of the traits that you guys associate with being feminine? And right off the bat, a very big trait that's associated with being feminine is long hair.
Now, before we even get into long hair, we want to know if there are any traits that you can think of that are associated with being feminine before we get into ours. So please do share in the chat and don't be shy. Are there any traits that are usually associated with femininity, particularly in the Black community? Any traits or characteristics that you can think of? Write it in the chat. We want to know.
While you guys take your time, I'm thinking of some traits that may come to mind or things that you know to be feminine, Again, like Lucy said, feel free to put it in the chat box. But, one trait right off the bat is long hair.
Definitely.
Can we agree that long hair is a feminine trait? We see, we see it very often. Like, we see it presented to us in media. All you have to do is go to the hair store and you can get as many inches as you want.
There may be a delay in the chat, so if you guys are typing, we're just going to take a second to see if it's going to come up over here. Again, if you feel like any characteristics are associated with femininity or being feminine in the Black community, go ahead and write it in the chat, and once it comes up, we're going to acknowledge it. If we don't see it, we're just going to move forward and we're going to share ours with you.
So we'll give you guys a second.
I'm not seeing any activity. It could be on our end, so let's just continue on here. Okay. You said long hair, DL3. Right. Let's get into long hair.
All right, so long hair. Long hair is something that's definitely associated with being feminine. We see it on TV. We see it in everyday life. We see when females get their hair cut. People start questioning their sexuality. Like, whoa, what's going on? Why you cut your hair so long? We see when females go to the store to get hair. They want the longest hair. Can I get 40 inches, please? The minimum. I need to, we see it in our community when we're thinking of things like hang time. Anybody remember what hang time is?
Yeah, do y'all remember hang time? Hang time was big in New Haven. Shout out to New Haven. So I know my New Haven folks know what hang time is. Don't be shy.
Hang time was big in a lot of areas. If you know what hang time is, definitely put a 1 in the chat box. Hang time is when, you got people checking your length to see how long it hangs. If you got it. And if you got enough, I guess is what they really checking. Because you got hair. I guess they checking to see if you got enough hair.
Exactly.
And what's enough? What's enough? What's enough hair?
Enough would probably be if it reaches your neck or if it goes down below your neck. So if it reaches your hair, if it reaches your neckline or lower, then you got hang time. For those of you who don't know, if it doesn't reach at least your neck, if it's up to your ears, you don't got hang time.
You ain't got hang time, and guess what's going to happen? Run me that neck.
That neck's about to get run.
It's I'm laughing because it happened to me. It's happened. It's happened. It was fun. It was funny, but it's not so funny.
Okay.
It happened.
I'm hearing that there may be some issues with the chat. If we are having some issues with the chat, please let us know. If everything is fine, can you just put a 1 in the chat just so we know that everything is fine? If for some reason you're having issues, put a 0, and if we see it, then we're gonna go ahead and make some adjustments. So if the chat is all good, just go ahead and put a 1. If you're having issues seeing the chat or you're having issues writing in the chat, just go ahead and put a 0. Okay.
Wait, what's the 1 for?
I see Money Lisa came through and said 1, so everything is good in the chat. Anybody else? Is everyone else able to write in the chat okay?
If you can write in the chat, put a 1. Please, that would be greatly appreciated.
You don't have to be shy. If you don't want to answer, it's okay. We're just going to move forward.
Okay,
we just want your feedback to make sure.
All right. Thank you, Money Lisa. So we're going to move forward. Do you guys, having a certain appearance for being emotional. That is from Kay Antonise.
That's right. Good one, Kay Antonise.
Having a certain appearance or being emotional is a feminine trait. And you know what, Kay Antonise? You're right. You are, if I had a gift card, I'd give it to you. You're right. I ain't got no money to give you, girl. You got to go to the IRS for that. But you're right. Being emotional, being vulnerable, looking a certain way, certain looks are considered feminine. And that brings me to, what are those looks? What makes people look feminine? People look at the size of your body, the way your body is, your overall posture, I guess the way, the size your body is, and your skin tone. Those are things that people try to, wait, what does that say? Oh, I'm sorry, it's the same thing. Those are things that people use to dictate whether or not you're feminine or not.
Exactly.
Having lighter skin is seen as being feminine.
Even when it's not.
You know, and like, you know, and to go back off what Kay Anthony said, being emotional, being emotional is seen as a somewhat weaker in terms of going on the feminine side. People put that hand in hand, being emotional, being weak, being feminine. It's the same difference that people say.
Exactly. I see we got some more people in the chat. So, again, we just started, but if you're new and you just came in the chat, we want you to write where you're from. Represent Connecticut. This is your time to represent Connecticut. So, okay, Blue Jay said yes. All right, Blue Jay. Where you from, Blue Jay? Write in the chat where you're from. And even if you're not from Connecticut, we want to know where our viewers are living.
Exactly. And Lucid, I just need Blue Jay said yes. Okay.
Yeah, she didn't say yes. She said yes.
Like, yes. Like somebody's preaching something that somebody said is preaching to the choir for Blue Jay.
Preach.
So yeah, like, you know, Kay Anthony said, okay, Kay, we got another one. We got a one from Blue Jay.
Okay.
So it seemed like things were delayed in the beginning. That's what was happening.
All right.
Like, okay.
It's all good. The show must go on.
Okay. Again, let us know where you guys are coming from. How did you guys find Blue Connecticut? Thank you for tuning in. Jumping right back into the feminine attributes, we discussed the hair, we discussed the emotional aspect, and being emotional also go kind of hand in hand with being passive, being very meek, kind of being the person that you listen to you listen to people. Being passive and submissive is considered feminine.
And for those of you in the chat who didn't catch earlier, another thing we said is long hair. Like, long hair don't care. Obviously, you do care. Like, that's important. Because if you didn't miss the part about hang time, which is a big thing in Connecticut, I don't know if everyone is from Connecticut or if we got some other places in the building, but if you didn't have hang time, that neck was getting run up.
I know it.
Getting rug burn.
Kay Anthony said, me too. I had a ponytail for a while. That's what I had, and I feel slightly disrespected because I had length in that ponytail. You just couldn't tell.
That's right.
My mom wouldn't let me wear my hair down, but had it been down, I probably would have been A-okay, but they didn't respect that.
She was trying to protect you from the hang time police.
She said, me too. I had it. So we all know the long hair don't care. We females are supposed to have long hair. They're supposed to look a certain way. They're supposed to be emotional. You know, they're supposed to have a certain type of body.
Exactly. But before we even get into the body yaddy yaddy, shout out to the females with the long hair and the short hair rocking the Holly Berry pixie cuts in the building.
No.
Okay. I love that. That's right. Love that. I'm gonna have to go back to that. I rocked one of those for a quick little minute. I ain't gonna stop.
Because some women can really get away with the pixie cuts and it looks really good on them, where other people, it's like, you know, I guess they feel a little self-conscious because they don't want to be called a boy, and at that, they may not be able to rock it like that.
This is true.
Now let's get into the body yaddy yaddy.
Body yaddy yaddy yaddy.
Yaddy
I love
yaddy.
this song. So, you know, a feminine body that people say display feminine or femininity is that typical hourglass figure. You gotta be stacked in all the right places. You gotta have curves for days. I'm trying to ride the road. That type of body. What's the number? What is the number Uh, 36, 24, 36.
All right.
That
Moni
is
Lisa
what
said
people-
like a Coke bottle.
Exactly. Money Lisa's on a Coke bottle. You know what? Just in case anybody was wondering, I love Coke. The soda.
The soda. Just so y'all know, we ain't Tony Montana.
The soda. I love Coca-Cola. But yes, that Coca-Cola body shape, that is considered a very feminine physique. You know, she got to have the nice bra size, and then the very small waist, and then it got to come back out at the hips. She got to be stacked, and then she got to turn around. She got to have a butt that go uh-oh. She got to have that butt. I mean, we see it when we look at people like, what? Like right now, everybody's on Instagram buying waist trainers. Everybody's buying waist trainers.
Exactly.
Everybody's selling waist trainers.
Exactly.
Think up to the people who are selling them. Think up to the people who are selling them.
Uh-oh. We got Denise Perez in the building. Says she's here from Hartford. Hartford in the building.
That's the capital. Denise
Yes.
from Hartford.
Shout out to the Capitol in the building. That's right. Much love. We appreciate you all for making it here today. Okay.
This is a good turnout.
Kay Anthony said PT, like the PT Barnum projects, or just PT part-time.
What's that PT for? Let us know, Kay Anthony. That PT you okay? PT. If you are, if you saying PT from Bridgeport, that's the West End. All right.
If you know,
you know. We got people from Hartford, New Haven, Bridgeport. Blue Jay, where you from? We gotta know where you from.
Yeah, Blue Jay, you from Connecticut? If you're from Connecticut, let us know. Even if you're not from Connecticut, we want to know where you're from in the chat so you can represent your city. Represent up here. We want you to feel proud to represent where you're from, no matter where you live.
All the major cities coming in tonight: Hartford, New Haven, Bridgeport. It's crazy. It's crazy right now. This feels good. So we're talking about feminine attributes, and we said the long hair, don't care, you know, the hourglass figure, the Coca-Cola bottle shape. We said lighter skin with the appearance, emotional, being passive and submissive. What's some other qualities? People usually associate higher pitched voice with being feminine.
Do you guys agree with that?
Let us know if you agree with that.
Have you ever met a girl with a deep voice and everyone thought she was feminine? Or have you seen the complete opposite?
Again, guys, feel free if you want to touch on something that we had already said, that's okay. Feel free. We're always going to come back to the chat and acknowledge what was written. So feel free to acknowledge any point of the slides that you check in. And we got somebody writing in.
Okay. Kay Anthony says Barbie shape, small waist, big boobs, big behind. You got to sit a cup on that booty, pretty much.
He said big behind.
Like Nicki Minaj, Barbie shape.
That's right. Like cashed out. Yeah, we see it. They all got the big behind, the Barbie shape, yeah. They got the small waist. We see it all the time. They got the long hair. They got the small waist. They getting the boob jobs. They getting the behind. They're becoming the picturesque, feminine image. That's what they're becoming.
Exactly.
Kudos to them. They look good. You know, they look good. Kudos to them. You look good.
But now we want to flip the script a little and ask, what are some characteristics of masculinity? When you look at someone, how do you determine if they're to be considered masculine? Is there anything that you guys could think of in the chat?
We're asking for masculine attributes. What do you guys think? Okay, we got Money
Lisa said big head. I don't know about that, but you never know. You never know. There might be some tribes that look at big heads and they see that as a sign of masculinity.
You know what, Money Lisa? I'm gonna say yes, because big head is. Are you talking about their confidence? Like they, boom, they got it out. They alpha, like masculinity. She said, I had a PT. Oh, she said, I had a PT ponytail. Yes, Kay Anthony, you from Bridgeport. You had a PT ponytail.
All right, shake that ponytail.
That's right.
Oh, man. You had your mom had the good jam, the bristle brush. She was doing the work.
Can't forget the baby hairs.
Yeah, she laid it flat. Kudos to you. PT ponytails. That's a classic throwback right there. I will never wear one of those again.
Now, any other traits for masculine before we share ours with you? All right, we're just gonna get into it.
Yeah.
DL3, what are
So-
some masculine traits we have?
So masculine traits, like I said, Money Lisa, I hear you with the big head. Masculine traits are defined jawline. If you see somebody with a super cut jawline, it's like boom. Their athletic body. You want strong, big, muscular, deep voice. Y'all hear somebody come on the mic like Barry White.
Barry White, baby.
Oh gosh. That's considered masculine.
That's that testosterone.
Darker skin. Darker skin is associated with masculinity.
Pretty much. Now, do you guys agree with that? That darker skin is associated with masculinity, or does anyone disagree? Honestly, I don't necessarily believe this personally, but these are the stereotypes and these are the characteristics that we typically attribute to masculine in our community. So we just want to know.
We're also seeing that, aggressiveness and assertive. Okay, Money Lisa said, I agree.
Okay.
She agreed. Okay.
Money Lisa coming
She
through.
agreed. Money Lisa agrees. Aggressiveness and assertiveness. When somebody's able to, be super at it and do things and just, I'm on top. Boom, I get it done. That's considered masculine. Listen, these are the facts.
The facts.
Afrocentric features are considered masculine.
Pretty much.
And others in the chat, let us know how you feel about these attributes. If you don't agree, feel free. Let us know. And if you do, hey, let us know. But, these are the things that are associated with being masculine. Defined jawlines, darker skin, very strong athletic bodies, deep voices, and also not just deep voices, but, slang. Like,
Absolutely.
they out here, he know how to, where you from? Like,
Got girls
Afro-
walking up. What up, son?
ooh, okay.
Kayan Tani says masculine equals stable, less sensitive, tough. Okay.
Wow.
Exactly. That makes sense. I agree with you.
Yeah. Honestly, that makes especially when we think of when we think of the feminine side, we think of emotional. We think the opposite for the masculine side, that they're stable in their emotion, so less sensitive.
And I like that you use the word tough because it reminds us of Kodak Black when he said, dark-skinned girls are too tough. They too gutta. That's what he said. So tough is definitely a word there.
So these are the traits that are associated with the feminine and masculine side. We have another person writing in, and who said? Oh, what is that?
I lived with a side ponytail, Kayan Tanise.
Oh my goodness, you was killing it with the ponytails, huh?
The ponytail game was sick. Shout out to Kayan Tanise's ponytail game.
She had the ponytails on lock.
Exactly.
Were you doing baby hairs too?
That's what I said. The look is not complete without the baby hairs.
It has to be a complete look.
Exactly.
So these are the attributes that are on the feminine and masculine spectrum, and all these all these attributes are really opposites of each other. I mean, we see it when we say, okay, passive versus aggressiveness. You know, we see it when we say athletic body versus hourglass. You know, we see it when we say, and you know, Kay brought up a very good point. Your appearance, Afrocentric features versus less Afrocentric feature, asymmetrical face, like very different.
Facts.
So we're gonna jump right in, and we're gonna go into the profiles that come about out of these
Feminine and masculine characteristics. Now, these are just some profiles to give you an idea of what we typically see in the media. And when we look at these people, these are common people that you may know and some you may love. When we look at them, how we observe them, and as a result, we treat them a certain way or we perceive them a certain way as a result.
Exactly.
Who you want to get into first?
We're going to get right into, well, before we get into that, we're going to ask you guys, are there any images that you see that you guys think of, or stereotypes or archetypes that you guys can think of? Write in the comment box. Maybe there's a reoccurring image that you see, or a reoccurring quote unquote person that's like, this person is always here in movies and TVs and books.
I see the chat's delayed a bit, so let's just get into the facts.
All right, so we're gonna go right into the mammy.
That's right.
Looks like we got one more comment before we do. Kay Anthony says it's a stereotype. They be like, they act in light skin as if a lighter skin tone is weak versus a darker skin tone. Facts.
That's right.
Kay Anthony is coming with the facts today. Shout out to Kay Anthony.
Acting light skin.
Now, we're going to get into what acting light skin versus acting dark skin, or if that exists. We're going to get into all those a little later. But before we do, let's just pull out the profiles for y'all.
All right, so the first one we're going into is the mammy. Quick question: do y'all know who this is? I know y'all looking like her name is not Mammy, but this person is based off a stereotype. This is, if I'm not mistaken, I think her name is Annie, which is also crazy. But this is Annie, and we've seen her on all the Popeyes commercials. She is the Popeyes spokesperson. Apparently, she's the one who made the chicken.
Yeah. Money Lisa says the Popeyes lady.
Popeyes lady, yeah.
She knows.
I've seen people dress up as her for Halloween. So this lady, Annie, the Popeyes lady, she exhibits the mammy stereotype. She has the shorter hair, right? She has that darker complexion. We're looking at her. She has those Afrocentric features. And where can we find Mammy? Where is she? What is she doing? Mammy is in the big house cooking some chicken.
In the big house, in the big kitchen.
She in a big kitchen. That's a lot of chicken.
Or the little kitchen.
What'd you say?
Or the little kitchen.
The little kitchen.
Making the big chicken.
And when we think about Annie, when she's telling us about her chicken, is she just telling us like her chicken's good? How is she presenting herself? She's bolstering up her chicken. She don't need you to tell her chicken is good. She knows it's good. it's already been good. Like she's letting you know that she know it's good. You gonna love this chicken. Her dialect is super exaggerated. She's from the South. I mean, Popeyes, Louisiana, finger licking good chicken. This is the mammy. And I know you guys are thinking to yourself, like, okay, But do you see her in other images? Like, do you see her in other? Is she a reoccurring stereotype? And the answer is yes, she is. I know another Mammy from Soul Food who was also making chicken.
He was making chicken and soul food too?
Yeah, they was making chicken. The name of the movie was Soul Food, and they came around every Sunday to make a soul food dinner. And they was frying chicken in Crisco and making collard greens. And Mammy, with a Southern dialect, dark-skinned woman, and she ain't take nothing. She was very assertive, very good. Hey, this is her household. She make the chicken. She called the shots. This is the Mammy. How do you guys feel about this? How do you feel about the fact that she's frying chicken?
Given
that's already...
Given it's a stereotype in the black community, does it make you feel some type of way, like she's pandering? Okay, Money Lisa said all big mamas are mammies.
Big mamas are the mammies.
I didn't even think about it like that, to be honest.
Yeah, you know what, Money Lisa, you shedding light on something. Because I did not...
All big mamas are the mammies. So you mean that, like, all of the women who have the role of the big mama in the black community, they also portray the mammy archetype? Okay, Money Lisa said yes. She believes that all the big mamas in the black community are depicting a mammy archetype. Okay, I don't disagree with you there. Now, let's move on to another profile.
Okay, Lucy.
What's up?
You mind taking over this next one for me?
Now, what's the next one you want to get into?
The next one I want to get into is the athlete.
Okay, we have the athlete here. And as you can see, this is Shaquille O'Neal, a.k.a. Shaq Attack. Some of y'all may know him as Kazam. And Kazam, he's like 6 foot something. He's like a skyscraper type of guy. You know, a lot of females, they say they like tall men. Honestly, they say they like tall men because that is a masculine characteristic. We're all tall, dark, and handsome. Sometimes they're just tall and dark without the handsome, and we'll take them anyway. So,
Wait a second.
Shaq's a good example of this.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
One of the characteristics he has is a deep baritone voice, like that Barry White we were talking about earlier. He got that tone for the moan. So definitely Shaq. He got that deep voice as he's talking. His appearance, big and tall, as we mentioned. Fun fact about Shaq, he wears a size 14 shoe, and you know what that means. To keep it moving, he doesn't necessarily have a southern dialect. He's from Newark, but I know he's from L.A. LA, they got their own little weird accent. But the role that he plays... Say it again?
No, go ahead. Go ahead, I'm lucid.
The role that he plays is really the rags to riches story. He grew up dirt poor from what we read about Shaq, and now that he's making all this money, he's spending all this money.
Spending all his money. I just want y'all to know that.
And his attitude and demeanor is very He's what would be considered the alpha male in the community.
He is definitely an alpha male. I don't know if y'all know a little bit about Shaq. I mean, he's no longer playing basketball anymore, so you get to see his true personality. Because, you know, sometimes basketball could be like, people bring you to that point. But he is now a broadcaster for ESPN. And let me tell you, Shaq don't take nothing. You can't tell Shaq. Him and Charles Barkley are always going at it. He has those alpha male traits. He's assertive, he's aggressive, and he don't care about nobody's feelings.
Yeah, Charles Barkley is another one. That's another one we didn't even think about.
I forgot about Barkley. He's a big guy. Take him down, Bark. Take him down, Bark. Does this fit? Do you guys know others that fit this? Is this a common theme we're seeing? I mean, yes. We all can name the athlete. It's a reoccurring stereotype.
Money Lisa said, what about Kobe?
What about Kobe? Rest in peace, Kobe.
Now, why you gotta bring up Kobe every time we talking about Shaq? That's why they had beef before.
That's why he left the Lakers. Let me stop. I don't know why he left the Lakers.
You know, I feel like. How do you feel about Kobe, DL3?
In terms of fitting this image, not completely like Shaq does, but he does. Kobe is tall. Kobe is dark. We know Kobe don't take nothing. His voice is not exactly the deepest. My chat is somewhat delayed. IDKY. Anyways, I love Popeyes.
Yeah, we figured something was going on with the chat.
Something is, but thank you for tuning in. Thank you. We're talking about the athlete. And yeah, I feel like with Kobe, yeah, he is. I mean, we see Kobe, boom, boom, he's out there, he's quick. He's always in the gym giving us 100%. Yeah. What was the thing they called Kobe's thing? It was Mamba mentality.
If you're
Kobe's in Mamba, I'm sorry, what was that?
If you're still having issues with the chat, anyone who's listening, just refresh the page and it should get a little better from there. If it doesn't, thanks for bearing with us because we're working on it.
Thank you. You know, Money Lisa, you're right. Kobe is he had that masculine mentality. That Mamba mentality was like animalistic. That was when Kobe is in, when he becomes Mamba, he is not a human. This guy is going off. Like everybody try to mimic that Kobe mentality. So a certain period, tall, dark, and handsome.
Period. Okay. It's the period it's for me.
It's the emoji. She said crying, tall, dark, and handsome. Yes, that's the kryptonite. See? Stay away from it.
Now, do you want to move on?
What was that?
Do you want to move on to another profile?
Shoe size doesn't mean anything. Oh, gosh. You know what? The chat box is no longer delayed. It is up to speed, and things are being said, okay?
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Yeah, we're going to move on to the next profile. The next profile is like the other profiles, a reoccurring thing. Next profile is the pretty boy. What's the pretty boy? What's the pretty boy? Who's that?
Pretty Ricky, what they call him.
Pretty Ricky is what they call him. The pretty boy has that smooth demeanor, very smooth in nature, very cool, slightly sly, well-groomed, very taken care of. They're all about their appearances. They got the hottest fashion. They very clean cut. You know, they get their nails done here. Then they take care of themselves. They making sure, you know, you might see a pretty boy getting a manicure, and guess what? That's just what it is. Because he's into himself.
Money Lisa said he got that satin swag.
Satin swag. And you know,
I don't even know what that means. What do you think the satin swag means, DL3? I have no idea.
Satin is smooth, right? It's like silk, satin and silk.
Yeah, maybe smooth.
That Rico Suave.
Okay.
That, you know, that very... y'all can't see me, but I'm moving a little bit as if I was drinking a pina colada, just make me shiver like he's a pretty boy. Okay. But this person sometimes tends to be into their stuff, and they could be into their stuff because everybody's into them. Like, why wouldn't they be? Like,
why would they be? Let's get into it.
Why would they be? But what role? Really have no role for this person. Do you guys have a place for this person in our community? Does this, I mean, like, where does he fit? Oh, I see where you could read. Excuse me. And let us know. Is the pretty boy, do you guys know a pretty boy in your area or on TV? Do we know some other pretty boys?
Would you take him home?
Can we take him home?
Would y'all take him home? Is that y'all? This y'all style? Okay. K. Anthony said R.I.P. #Kobe.
Rest in peace, Kobe.
Mamba.
Mamba,
Right.
yep. Mamba mentality. And we're talking about the pretty boy. He cool, but I like chocolate. Okay, Lisa. Money Lisa said he cool. Like, he cute, but you're alright, but I need some more melanation for myself. All right. Now let's. Do you guys see this person? Is this a real stereotype? You guys see him on TV? Do you see him in communities? Where does he fit?
Yeah, and if you do see him, we want to know what role do you feel like he plays in society where the athlete, is the alpha male, the athletic one with the rags to riches story. Is the pretty boy more than his appearance? Does he serve a purpose?
And we're gonna let you guys think about that one, but we have one more.
Money Lisa said, nah.
Said nah. She hit him with. Yo, it's the news. She hit him with the nah.
Nah,
not
B.
even.
Where your B at?
Not even. He's just, it's a no-go. Dang.
All right, New Haven.
She hit him with the nah. And you know what? Money Lisa, I think we hit him with the nah too. Because we don't know about this guy.
I mean, one thing's for a fact though. He got the man bun up and going. Y'all don't like that man bun? What you mean? Nah. I know some girls who would like that man bun. No?
Yeah, I'm good on the man bun.
Good on the man bun. Okay. So let's keep it moving.
Put my own hair in the man bun. My man to put his hair in the man bun.
Put his hair in the PT ponytail.
The PT ponytail or the side. Like, yo, wait, he got baby hairs, or is that he doing half masculine by doing the shape up, and then he got a ponytail? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
He got the satin swag, as she said.
Satin swag. Satin swag. He got the satin pillowcases. We're going to move on to the next profile. I mean, the next stereotype. The next one is very common. I feel like all of these are common. But I feel like this one is sometimes in your face.
Now, before we get into this, Kayan Tanise said, I had a phase when I only wanted pretty boys, but I had to let it go. We want to know why you had to let it go. Like, what's so bad about the pretty boys? Did they treat you wrong, or are they in the mirror too long, hogging up the spot, using all the gel? We want to know.
She hit him with the peace sign.
She sure did.
She said, I had to let you go, deuces. I'm out of here. Drops
Exactly.
mic. Let us know. Let us know. Let us know. Did I like, the pretty boys? Listen,
And
pretty
it's okay.
don't last long.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's okay if you were never into the pretty boys. I feel like everyone has a preference, as we all like to throw around in the black community, especially for the men. So let the woman have a preference. Let the woman have a preference, folks. Shout out to Kayan Tanise for letting go of the pretty boys.
You had to do what was good for you.
Gotta do what's best for you. So,
while, feel free to still write in the chat box. We're going to move on to the next one. And can you guys guess? She said, I don't even know.
She said, I ain't got no type. Okay.
I ain't got no type.
Shout out to having no type.
Look at hands in the air. Whatever you can catch is what you will get.
It's the emoji for me.
It's the emoji. Hands in the air, face looking puzzled. I ain't got no type.
It could go either way.
Hey.
All right, let's keep it moving.
So the next one, next profile, the next stereotype is if we gotta have the pretty boy, what's the next one? We gotta have the image. The image. I mean, when we were going through feminine attributes or feminine characteristics, there's people who once they fit this standard, they're praised almost. So right here we have a photo of someone who has the hourglass figure. She got the Coca-Cola body, even if she ain't drinking Coca-Cola. She had, and for you guys who don't know who this is, that's Beyonce. Is that Beyonce or not?
Mona Lisa was asking.
I was Money Lisa. That's the same thing I said. I said, is that Beyonce?
Curious minds want to know.
That's Beyonce.
Yep.
That is Beyonce. That is Beyonce. And Beyonce has the hourglass figure. She known for the nice body, and she also known for the
she got the black girl booty.
She's popping that little thing. And if you've ever seen Beyonce in interviews, Beyonce, in her younger years, super passive, very dull, very innocent and naive, even well into her mid-20s.
And something to think about, just like the Mammy, she also has this heavy southern accent and this southern charm, but no one looks at her like the Mammy. She's the image.
And K-Antoinese brought it up earlier, the appearance, how you look. Beyonce is someone who, her appearance, although black, is very close to looking, her proximity is to whiteness. She looks, and she gets, that's Beyonce white lookalike. You know what? Do you actually know that there was a story behind this? There's a story behind this. And what is it? That must have been her L'Oreal campaign.
And L'Oreal was accused of lightening her skin.
Yeah, they were accused of lightening her skin, and it's obvious because we all know what Beyonce looked like. It don't matter if it's Beyonce from then or Beyonce now.
And it looks like they did a little trickery with her nose too.
It looked like they did a little defining jaw too.
Mm-hmm.
Like they made her chisel. They made her face look. Wow, she looked. Second glance, you would have just thought, "Hey, who is that?"
I know you see it.
You see it. We see it. It's being seen, people. And how do y'all feel about that? Like we know what Beyonce looked like. You think we weren't gonna notice that? It's the first thing that Money Lisa noticed. Like, is that Beyonce?
Right.
We know what Beyonce looked like.
Money Lisa said, I see it.
Yeah. It's being seen, Money Lisa. And Beyonce her role is the pretty girl.
Pretty in parentheses.
The pretty.
Quote.
The pretty girl.
End quote.
End quote. Beyonce is what they say. She got all the ingredients and she cooking.
Now, what do you guys feel like makes her the pretty girl? Because, beauty is subjective, but is there something in particular that would make Beyonce the pretty girl and not the Mammy?
Let us know. And, just to note, as we are looking at these stereotypes on the spectrum, look how vastly different they are. She's younger. She is younger.
Good point. I didn't even think about that. In addition to being younger, let's just fill in the blanks for you. Her hair is longer. We talked about long hair don't care. She also has, in her appearance, a greater proximity to whiteness, which has value and has a lot of currency in the black community, as sad as it is, the black community. Proximity to whiteness is an asset or a value. DL3 talked about how meek and passive she was, and even when she's not meek and passive, because if y'all know Beyonce, y'all know at one point she was Sasha Fierce and doing all the
Yeah.
sassy stuff on stage and, you know, the little sassy antics. And then she was Beyonce and became this little country bama rapper, sounded like a country Migos. So, you know, she does her thing where she's not all that passive, but when she's like that, it's glorified. She's still seen as a sweet, young, feminine lady, but if someone else, you know, say of a darker hue like Kelly Rowland were to do that, she would lose all of her value. And I mean, let us know if we're wrong. If you feel another way, let us know in the chat.
And I just want to point out with the Beyonce, her being like the quote unquote pretty girl, like Lucid has said it prior, you know, when Beyonce's always been doing stuff like boom, that's kind of like hypersexualized and whatnot, but it wasn't, and it was like, in the beginning, everybody was cool with it. And then she came out with I Am, or I think it was called I Am Sasha Fierce. And it kind of justified, like, she even said in interviews that she created this alter, like, that's not her personality. That's an alter ego. She felt like she had to separate herself from that identity of being sexualized because she didn't want it to be assumed that that's how she was all the time. Because people who didn't know her was like, oh, she's a freak. She's into it. And she's like, whoa, that's not me. And it's like, okay, B. You've been doing it for so many years. It's okay now.
We got a couple of comments in the chat. Money Lisa said, Kelly Rowland got no swag.
Like, really? You know what? You're not the first one I heard say that, Money Lisa. Dang.
Kay Anthony says, isn't she French though? Which brings about our next point. In this L'Oreal ad, they did identify her as French, Native American, and African American. And if you don't know, that is definitely, we are definitely cooking here because that is the ingredients for, particularly in Louisiana, hoo-hoo! That's the ingredients for what they call a Creole.
Creole, exactly. Oh, literally, all three of those is what make up.
Sometimes it's Native American and Spaniard and African American, or sometimes it's French, Native American and African American. Sometimes it's Native American and French, but you know, they glorify those mixtures in places like Louisiana because of their past, where women who were mixed race during slave times, they were called quadroons or octoroons. They wanted more privilege than, say, someone who's a slave or someone who wasn't mixed or had the lighter aesthetic because of their small percentage of whiteness. So instead of being punished because of the black percentage, they wanted the rights or some partial rights because of their European percentage. Now, how do you guys feel about that? Kay Antonice, you brought up a really good point.
Really good point. And just to, you know, like Kay Antonice said, isn't she French? That is what we mean by the proximity to whiteness. Because Beyonce is, I guess, would be considered somewhat like more than like, it's like she's now this pretty person. Like, oh wow, she has all this going for her. Like,
yeah, you know, even though she's a pretty person, quote unquote pretty, she is closer to whiteness, which makes her pretty in the black community. Again, that's something that we got to work on. We have to take a look at. Why is it that us as black people are using the same standard of beauty as white people when we're not white? Something to think about.
Exactly. And as you guys think about think about the stereotypes that we just presented to you, I just want to bring up something that is basically somewhat of a fault because of these stereotypes, or a disadvantage for Black women in particular. There is a concept coined by Kimberly Crenshaw called intersectional invisibility. And basically what it is an overlapping. So because Black women are Black and because they are women, they're not being seen. Not like physically not being seen. Yes, we can see Black women, but sometimes they have unique experiences that are we talking about intersectional invisibility, Money Lisa?
Yeah,
So-
just explain to them what intersectional invisibility is again.
So intersectional invisibility is when there's a unique set of. So I'll give you an analogy. So let's say that race is one road and it's going horizontal, and then gender is another road and it's going vertical. Intersectional invisibility is when these roles overlap at the intersection, and because because Black women pertain to both sets, they are not being seen in certain cases. So, for instance, people deem the Black race as a masculine trait. Obviously, the race has women and men, but sometimes Black women are often seen and miscategorized as Black men instead of being Black women. So we're being seen as our race before our gender.
That's right.
We're seen less as a woman because Black is considered masculine. Black is considered aggressive. So everything that's to a masculine trait. I mean, we see it when we think of the mammy archetype.
Exactly.
She's darker skinned. She's usually a darker person of color. She's a darker melanated person.
That's right.
And Black women are being less similar to women in general because of this. So Black women are being erased through masculinization and under distinction from Black men because of intersectional invisibility.
That's right.
And
exactly.
I don't think. What was that, Lucy?
I said exactly. Facts.
Yeah, I don't think when I was looking into the feminine masculine spectrum, I never had even wow, what is this? What is this? And this woman coined this and did a case study, and it happened because she was reading an article about a woman who was trying to get a job, and she then sued the job because she didn't get the job. This happened in the late 80s. The woman sued the company because she didn't get the job, but they threw the case out because they said that, this Black woman claims she didn't get the job because of her race, but that's not true.
That's right.
Because there are Blacks who work here and there are women who work here. But when they took a deeper dive into the case, they found out that although there are Blacks that work there, and although there are women that work there, there were no Black women who worked there. So the Blacks were Black males, and the women were white women. And Black women are at the intersection between those two, being erased, not being seen,
That's right.
and not being given the same luxury as a woman would be. So intersectional invisibility is something that is we see it every day when people just we see it every day when we look at, for instance, the mammy stereotype versus the pretty girl stereotype.
That's right.
The pretty girl stereotype is everything of a feminine attribute. She's everything. Whereas the mammy kind of mimics a lot of masculine traits, even though she's a woman. What do you guys think about that? Is that new information to you? Do you feel Black women are being overlooked in terms of being feminine? Or what's happening is these narratives placed upon us are kind of dictating the way we maneuver in the world. And it doesn't benefit us.
Okay, now does anybody have any thoughts or ideas about the term that we just revealed to you? Because if you can't depend on us for anything, you could depend on us for coming with the facts. So we want to know how you feel about it and if there's anything that we can clarify.